Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org. That's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, president of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW-LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC-LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Call me in the morning. Is there nothing I can take? I say, ooh, to relieve this bellyache. I say, ooh, is there nothing I can take? I say, ooh, to relieve this bellyache. I say, ah, is there nothing I can take? I say, ah, to relieve this bellyache. I say, doctor, is there nothing I can take?
Good morning, Montgomery County. A little late today. Morning's Lone Star. Welcome back from yesterday's show. We're live broadcasting from downtown Conroe from the LSCR studios. Today is a fun day. It is Wednesday, right? It is Wednesday. I feel like I'm a day behind. And
yeah, because we weren't on Monday.
Yeah, so it's really messing with me. But yeah, welcome. We're broadcasting live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and irlonestar.com worldwide. Yeah, today's going to be a good show. Today's show is brought to you by Conroe Coffee, Clean Sweep Office Cleaning in Montgomery County, and Jay Stittleburg for County Judge, folks. County Judge. Speaking of which, he'll be in the studio today, I believe, around 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So if you have questions for our guest, Jay Stittleburg, please reach out to us. We have email, mwls@irlonestar.com if you want to remain anonymous. There's also our public page for Mornings Lone Star on Facebook. And you can also comment on the live Facebook feed or YouTube feed and stuff like that. So, sorry for being a little tardy.
That was me.
It was. You were just trying to make the money. Where'd you go? You went to the Woodlands Chamber?
Woodlands Chamber of Commerce had their networking breakfast this morning. In fact, our guest today, Jay, was there.
Did y'all miss me? I know a lot of people just go like, "Where's Dick? Where's Dick? Oh, we missed him. Oh my gosh."
Yeah, they did. No, that was the topic of conversation.
Okay. And was it okay? Was there a lot of people eating breakfast?
Yes, a lot of people eating breakfast.
What would you rate the breakfast as?
It was at Trulux. So the breakfast is actually,
I don't know what that means.
The Trulux is an upscale restaurant in the Woodlands restaurant row.
Tacos?
They may, but I'm trying to go carb free or carb minimum now, so I just had eggs and bacon. No breads.
I forgive you.
So yeah, that was me.
Cool. I mean, it's so exciting to hear that I didn't go.
You should have gone. You're a chamber member.
No, I got a lot of stuff going on. Holly's going on her bachelorette party this weekend, so I was trying to help out. Hopefully she's not listening right now. Actually, I probably shouldn't be talking about it because her girlfriends wanted me to do a bunch of stuff for their weekend, like answer a bunch of questions. Like I'm talking like 40 questions. And then, doing things like providing pictures. What's great is I always take pictures. And so when someone asks, hey, can I get some pictures of this person? I think I sent her 75 pictures of Holly just throughout the years of us going to events and doing stuff.
Uh-huh.
So hopefully they have plenty of pictures to do whatever they were trying to do with. But yeah, and also my personal life, a video game came out on Tuesday. So I've been kind of trying to play, but it's like I only want to play at midnight. That's the only time I can play because Holly gets jealous.
Aw. You should find a game that she likes and play.
We try to do that. I try to do that. We like to play this game with people we call You Don't Know Jack.
Oh, I love that game.
And
Trivia.
they made it on the computer now where you can use actually kind of interesting technology, but you can use your phone. Have you played that version yet?
No, just the the Wii. I've got the Wii version.
Yeah, so basically what it is you don't need controllers. You just need a phone that's charged, and you go to a website on your phone, and your phone becomes the controller. So like to answer the questions, you just hit your phone, or to type in your answer, you just use your phone. So it's really easy for people who don't play games, and it's just kind of like that hybrid of a video game / that. So it's a lot of fun, and yeah, so that's the game she likes to play. And then when the two boys here, or the two boys in the kitchen, or two brothers in the kitchen, I mentioned that game Overcooked. That's a popular
oh
game.
yes,
For we call it couch style game, meaning it's like old school where you sit together on the couch and play. And that's a fun game she likes to play because we end up yelling at each other. But
Well, yeah, I did hear about Holly's bachelorette party. The strippers and the cake are ready to go. The male strippers. I couldn't do it this time because I felt there was a conflict of interest. So fortunately for you, I won't be popping out of the cake.
Say that again?
That Holly's ordered all the male strippers
to pop
out of the cake, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah. I was reading some interesting stories about bachelorette parties because I always wonder what goes on in bachelorette parties. And apparently I was looking at Airbnb. And Airbnb apparently has I think it's 80% of all listed houses will refuse bachelorette parties, but not bachelor parties.
Well, I get that. The worst thing,
isn't that nuts?
Well, I think of the bachelor party, it's going to be potato chip crumbs on the floor and the smell of cigar smoke, maybe. But bachelorette parties, there are no rules.
Yeah, and then there were some funny stories online about what happened to the house and all that kind of stuff, and which I respect. So I wish her luck this weekend. And I think Holly's mother's coming to town too to see the new place.
Is her mom gonna be part of the bachelorette party?
I have no idea. I'm taking the I don't ask questions role in the whole wedding and all the planning, and I just do what I'm told. I try to.
Smart man.
But yeah.
Let's segue over to weather and traffic.
Oh yeah.
Weather, 84 degrees already. A little bit hotter today than it was yesterday at this time. Only going to get up to 92. Partly cloudy all day. Only a 10% chance of rain all day, all night. In fact, all week, sunny to partly cloudy. All week long, highs in the mid-90s, lows in the mid-70s.
All right, cool.
That's it for the weather.
I'm not really seeing any issues with traffic right now. School has started for certain ISDs, so I will give you a warning whenever you're making your normal route. Be careful of kids and all that kind of stuff because now they're out in the corners, getting ready to be picked up. So I encountered that today because with the new place, I haven't encountered the whole school dynamic, and it was somewhat interesting. There was a cop pretty much on every corner, so that was kind of nerve-wracking. I guess that means they have had a lot of issues. So
I think it's the presence to remind people, oh, this is the day. They get cutting people slack that they may not know today was the day. So you see the cops, you're aware of it.
Yeah. So traffic though, outside of that, if you're heading southbound to Houston, you're running some trouble right there before Beltway 8. Northbound on I-45, you're gonna run into some major issues after New Waverly. On the east side, everything's looking good, especially on Highway 69. I'm not seeing any issues. So there you go. Cool deal. So, all right. Welcome to today's show.
Welcome.
I'm excited. Holly and I watched a movie last night called The Girl with All the Gifts.
The Girl with All the Gifts.
It's like a zombie style apocalypse movie.
What was for a gift?
And it has Glenn Close in it.
Okay.
And it was a neat movie. I believe it's on Amazon. So if you're into zombie apocalypse and want something a little different, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's well produced.
What separates it from the others?
It was something like, I would say it's the generic, there's only so many humans on Earth and they're trying to get a cure. But the interesting aspect was the characters, I would say, because they were really fun and you got to know them really well throughout the movie.
Before they get eaten.
Well, I don't know how to describe it. They're strong characters and they were interesting. And there's only 5 of them. So it's not that big of a deal. I guess the different dynamic in the zombie world is apparently the zombies, it's not a zombie, it's a fungal infection. And the fungal infection takes over the body. And those who were pregnant, the babies would be the second generation of the fungus. And so they were like normal humans, but they still had the desire to eat. So they were the opening scene is this teacher teaching these kids strapped to a chair. And they're learning like basic, Beowulf and stuff like that. And then they're using those kids as studies because they want to see how the brain and all that stuff works.
Are these running zombies or
they're
shambling
they have
zombies?
this weird thing where like first generation, like whoever get infected, they like their jaws crack and they they chatter and stuff. It's really creepy. But like the kids who are second generation who came from the womb, it was pretty interesting. So I don't want to ruin the movie for those who like those kind of things.
The girl with all the gifts.
Yeah. So
how did you stumble across that?
well, Holly and I have been having serious issues about watching movies together because I've either seen them or I know of them. Like, for example, we got in a little tiff yesterday because I've never seen Murder on the Orient Express.
Like any of the versions?
But I've read the book.
Okay.
So and this is where details are very important when deciding a movie because she gets tired of me knowing the ending all the time. Because she's like, I want to watch a movie that we can experience together. That's her words. So we're sitting there, we start the movie because I was like, oh, I've never seen that movie. So we start watching it, and I was like, oh, that's a good version of that character. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I read the book. And she's like, so you know what happens at the end? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she just goes, well, we can't watch this then. I go, well, I was like, I don't know how to win. Like I was like, well, I'm
Keep
sorry.
Quiet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I read.
That's the only way you can win this.
And this movie, I mean, there you go. And she didn't want to watch Commando or anything like that. So that was the sad thing.
She didn't want to watch Commando, and you're still.
Yeah, I've been trying to get her to watch
marry her?
Lethal Weapon. Is probably my favorite movie because it has like every emotion a man can feel. So it's the best man movie,
right?
And because it has like friendship, it has family, and it has a loss. So I mean, like it has pretty much everything.
The wounded hero.
Yeah, and I still get tense when Riggs is going to shoot himself. I still get tense in that scene, even though I know it's not going to happen.
One thing I loved about, and I'd noticed it when it first came out on the screen, when Riggs is up there on the roof with the guy, and they decided, he makes them jump together.
You're crazy, man.
He handcuffs him. Have you noticed when they jump off the roof in slow motion that the plastic handcuffs break, and they're like have to grab each other's hands real quick? I guess that's a stunt that you just couldn't say, okay, take two, hop on back up there, because I think you have to pay for the jump.
Yeah,
pay for each jump. So
we forgot to start the cameras.
We all know there's no film in this.
That's why we watched that movie. And I said I've always wanted to see that movie because I read it was a unique zombie movie.
I do like some unique ones. There's it's a short movie. It's Australian. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, they made it to a Netflix movie.
Well, it was the one where the guy has the baby and he's been bitten.
Remade it. They remade it with Bilbo Baggins, the guy who played Bilbo.
Bilbo or Frodo?
Bilbo. What's his actor?
Ian Holm?
No, the young Bilbo.
Oh, Martin Freeman. Where he straps like the meat in front of him, so when he turns into a zombie, he'll just keep walking forward and he straps the baby to his back in a backpack.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
What do you think? Zombie movies are kind of going away, would you say?
Yeah, it's in another 3 years, superhero movies will go away. They just go through phases. We had a vampire phase. I
don't think superhero movies are going to go away.
No, they will. Here's the thing: you can't keep. Sooner or later, they're going to run out of A stories.
Yeah, they're gonna find a rhythm where it's like every 3 years they release a Batman movie. They're not going to release it every year, but they're going to release a Batman movie every 3 years.
I see. I don't think so because people are going to get tired of
or a version of a Batman. They're going to do like a Batgirl movie, or they're going to do, and then every 10 years they're going to be like, we're going to have this ultra cool movie where everyone's in it.
If you notice that they tried the same thing with the Jack Ryan movies, and even now people are they're not watching. You got to keep updating them.
And this is my argument for it because there's so much you can do with comic books because there's so many. There's only so many Jack Ryan stories you could tell. So I meant more of like with one character. Because Jack Ryan is the character, but in a comic book movie, like look at Marvel. They just said they're going to release all 20 Marvel movies on IMAX for a special deal. And I'm like, there's already been 20 Marvel movies. Like, I feel like I was yesterday that the Iron Man came out. But I think with the timeline of movies, you still got a good 60 years.
I'm going to say no, because we all felt the same way when vampire movies were coming out and when zombie movies, when Walking Dead started, we're like, oh, it's going to run 20 years.
None of those are connected. So all these movies are connected in one way or another.
But eventually you're going to get tired of one. Okay,
No,
so we're going to
there's
have
kids.
Big Bang.
There's kids,
or
man.
big screen version
Kids
of
wanna see it.
Elastaman.
Kids want to see it.
I'm telling you, for DC, Shazam, that's the death knell. Them putting out Shazam with what's
Have
his
you
name?
seen the trailer?
Chuck.
It looks funny.
Well, that's the thing. Is it a spoof or is it an actual DC extended universe movie?
I think it's DC Extended Universe. Movie.
Then it can't be funny, haha, because it goes against everything that the DC movies have been so far.
I don't know. I think there's so much money being made from those movies. They're really sitting down going, all right, maybe we shouldn't do a movie every year. We should do a movie every 2 years.
But they're going to lose the actors then. Robert Downey will very soon not play Iron Man anymore, and they don't want anyone else to play. It's not like James Bond where you can.
Yeah, but you're getting to that point with the Iron Man character is if you're a comic book, if I'm Marvel Comics, not the movie people, I'd be like, hey, we should probably start making the next Iron Man.
But in the comics, Iron Man actually ends up being the president of the United States.
Yeah. He also dies a couple times. So, I mean,
well,
you can do whatever you want.
In the Marvel universe, everybody dies a couple of times.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see. But I'm enjoying the fact that the new X-Men movie will be about the Phoenix.
Well, there's only so many story arcs X-Men has. So,
right.
I'm just saying, like, you have so many possibilities with the Marvel world. Because if you look at every movie, like Spider-Man, for example, you probably got 3 good movies out of that guy, right? 3 good ones. Black Panther, 3 good ones, right? Who's a newer comic book person who was introduced? We got maybe Doctor Strange, maybe, and then you have Guardians of the Galaxy. Got 1 more movie at least. And that's right there what I just said. It's 10 years from now. That's going to be released in a 10-year span.
We shall see. We shall see. Okay.
Totally. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio Mornings with Lone Star. We're going to be right back after this sponsored message.
Drink a bowl up, she put the lime in the coconut. She called the doctor, woke him up, said, Doctor, he said nothing I could take.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Does volunteering at a nonprofit horse sanctuary sound wonderful? Or are you a veteran or a veteran spouse and think trying a peer group session through a local Horses and Heroes equine program might be worth trying? Henry's Home Horse Only is home to a growing number of rescued and donated horses. Visit our website at henryshomehorsesanctuary.org or check out our Facebook at Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary for more information.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Nothing I could take. I say, Doctor, to relieve this belly, I say, Doctor, is there nothing I could take? I say, Doctor, to relieve this belly, I say, now let me get this straight. Put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. She put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. She put the lime in the coconut, you call the doctor, woke him up. Say, doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I said, doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, doctor.
Welcome back. Morning's Lone Star Dickens TV 926. In about half an hour, we're going to have Jay Stittleburg in the studio, candidate for Montgomery County Judge, coming and talking. Bumper music brought to you by the Reluctant Cowboy Rick. If you're listening, this one's for you, buddy. He posted a picture yesterday where it really looked like he was pouring lime in a coconut. So that's why I chose this as the music today. Have you ever poured lime in a coconut?
No, I want to.
Would you drink it all up?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't. I like coconut and lime, not so much.
So, what's going on?
What else is going on? Well, we got, some local news, some national news. It's kind of funky what's been going on, what the media is choosing to talk about. Everyone's concentrating on Omarosa right now. And I really think that one's going to blow up quick when people realize the legality of what she did. In fact, that...
Well, I mean, how many people have come out with books now? I would say you can almost call it
McCabe, Comey, Omarosa.
I mean, you can almost. I wonder who. I mean, you can almost call that like a media study, just because how much money do they make? Like my favorite one, recent one, I was seeing that Stort guy we were talking about yesterday had a GoFundMe to help his finances and raise over $300,000. I'm like, what's really strange about this GoFundMe is he can do whatever he wants with that money.
Yep.
Like you can say all you want on the page. Oh, it's going to go to my fund, but. And someone made a good, the conspiracy, not conspiracy, but someone even goes, what I love is they just said his court cases. So technically he could use that money for his divorce.
Mm-hmm. He can.
So I was like, oh, well, people, I mean, do you think that's kind of a weird way to blend in what the reality is and what story, cause I don't know who this person is. I don't really know the truth. I'm not in that area of expertise. So do you think it's weird when it kind of touches the general public? Where people are like, "Hey, give me money."
And here's the thing: this is a
do you think it's weird at all?
This is a federal agent with his hat in hand, asking for a public handout based on.
I wouldn't call it a public; it's just donation, but it's not really a donation.
Okay,
can't write it off.
I donate to 501c3s. I donate.
What's
to
I'm saying?
animal
That's what's so
shelters.
weird to me. It's like,
this is not a donation. You donate to a charity. He's a federal officer who had an affair, got caught. Sent tens of thousands of texts to his lover, got subpoenaed, and showed that he was not FBI material to the point where they suggested he be suspended, and then they ended up firing him for some unknown reason. Why on earth is he worth $300,000? Why? Because he publicly hates the president, and that's the gravy train. You want to make a lot of money? Say, I need money because I hate the president. He made $300,000 in one day. Can you imagine how many animal shelters or women's shelters or Meals on Wheels programs?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like you could, if I was a professor at some silly college, I'd be like, I'm going to do a class is how to make money off of Trump.
That's it. That's what everybody's doing. Let's make a book. Let's secretly record something that, look at Michael Cohen's recordings, his old lawyer. Look at Omarosa's. Nothing, literally nothing is there.
I love the Inception style of the new Omarosa is her name. Her recording basically is a recording of people talking about a recording that might be a recording.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is twisting my brain around. But no, I really think you could do a study, like how to make money off of a person when it comes down to the way the media treats things. Because could you correlate the dollar to airtime? Could you say hey, Marissa, here's the deal. I'm your manager. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. You got your book come out. Great job. You're going to make $2 million off that book. So to make $2 million more, we're going to need you to be on TV at least 2 hours this weekend.
Yep.
So
there are actual algorithms that deal with that.
And that's what I kind of notice. And especially when the end result, because I think this is going to get to a boiling point for fair use / libel and all that kind of stuff, because it's just going to be causing too much trouble, too much chaos for people.
Yeah, I think I am personally just truly sick, tired. I don't want to say sick, tired of just someone else. And if you notice, there's a timeline. I've talked about this. something will be gone after. Oh, Trump's going to destroy the world because he's in this Twitter war with Kim Jong-un. Okay, well, we made it. We didn't get blown up. Oh, now it's like.
Well, I mean, one day it is though. You know that, right?
What?
One day he's going to do something on Twitter and it's going to cause problems.
How do you know?
I mean, it's going to have to.
Why?
And it might be something small like, oh, KFC stinks and KFC closes because of it. But I mean,
but if he's not lying, if KFC stinks, then KFC stinks.
I'm just saying someone's going to have
The chicken does, but I love the sides at KFC. But no, all these books, the James Comey, McCabe, Omarosa, Cohen, all these books, all these revelations with I secretly recorded these. First off, that is beyond the pale. That is, to me, disgusting. And
yeah, but
I think the full weight of the federal government should go after Omarosa because
what stinks about it is, if you're going to be recording somebody, at least wait till you get juicy stuff, right? And then cause trouble.
Well, that's the point. If there was juicy stuff, it would have been released already. It would have been leaked. And this is what they were saying in the Mueller investigation with the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee saying, if there had been anything, Andrew McCabe would have leaked it already because he was leaking everything else. So it would have been leaked. If Trump had used the N-word on The Apprentice, believe you me, someone would have recorded it. Some staffer. Are you saying that everybody that worked on The Apprentice, every production assistant, every caterer, every employee, every cameraman loved him enough to cover this up? No, apparently it's vogue to hate him. So you'd be recording him. Hey, look, I got a recording of Mr. Trump way before he's president. That recording would be there and it would have been released by now. And Omarosa, her book and her tales is saying, oh yeah, so-and-so told me this. And these people are coming forward saying, I absolutely did not say this. And they have no reason to lie for the president. So it's just.
I bet you could just make money. How would you do it? I'd do it.
What?
Make money from it.
From what in particular?
Trump.
How?
I feel like there's so many opportunities.
If I could legitimately and legally make money from Trump or the president, any president, where my name or reputation is not permanently. I
don't think people care about that anymore.
I do. Then I would make money. I would make money. But if any of those conditions,
I don't think anyone cares anymore on the big stage. Well, locally, yeah,
you gotta look. Okay, you got to look
like on the big stage. I really don't think. I mean, you're looking at several journalists. Like, who is it? Brian Williams is back, I think. So I mean, that dude lied, and he's back as a journalist.
I told you, Americans are very forgiving with those they want to.
So, I mean, I don't think it really matters.
You have to consider the sources. I used to watch that. I used to love The Apprentice.
Because apparently Omarosa worked for Gore, worked for the Clintons, and she got fired from them. I'm still trying to figure out why Donald Trump hired her in a sense of like.
She brought ratings into The Apprentice. She was the one everyone loved to hate. And watching her,
that's great in The Apprentice, but.
And he rewards loyalty. When he demands loyalty, but he also rewards it. That's not an evil thing. That's not a Hitler thing. That's just a thing. He expects loyalty, and for disloyalty, you get busted because he'll have you sign a non-disclosure agreement. Now, you got to consider the sources of all these people that are coming forward with this. You have Omarosa, who just watch 5 minutes of her on any Apprentice episode, you will hate her. Then you've got Michael Cohen, the sleazy lawyer who actually recorded his own clients. That's beyond the pale. Then you have Stormy Daniels, who, if you ever saw The 40-Year-Old Virgin, yeah, she's the porn actress in that.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm Michael Cohen and I'm a lawyer at that big of a, dealing with those big of people, I think I would probably do the best I can to protect myself.
No.
So
it goes against every ethics rule in the American judicial system to where there is complete confidentiality between an attorney and a client. And even if you pay them $1 or say, I need to ask you a question as a lawyer,
ethics, ethics can change.
But if this man has not been disbarred by yet, I got to wonder why. Because that means, think about it. That means the new normal is that if I go to a lawyer, if that lawyer can record me saying, whatever, and they turn around and it's not that they weren't protecting themselves. He came forward saying, hey, I got tapes. There's nothing to protect him from. Would you want your lawyer recording you and then releasing it to the public? No, I'll answer for you. No one in the universe would go to a lawyer and be open and honest if they knew that
I'd be like,
lawyer
hey,
was
here's the
recording
deal.
you.
This is what we'll do. You can record me, record this part, and then release it. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to trust him to not record the other part. No, that is the new normal.
Man, I think money talks.
Got a problem with that. I do indeed. It's 9:35 though. I'll probably be past it when we come back at 9:37. We're going to take a break now, and don't forget, in just a few minutes, we're going to have candidate for county judge Jay Stittleburg in the studio.
Woke him up, said, Doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, Doctor.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our
Chris, and we're with the Ticket Stub podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.4.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget to give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
Does volunteering at a nonprofit horse sanctuary sound wonderful? Or are you a veteran or a veteran spouse and think trying a peer group session through a local Horses and Heroes equine program might be worth trying? Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary, located in Grand Central Park by appointment only, is home to a growing number of rescued and donated horses. Visit our website at henryshomehorsesanctuary.org or check out our Facebook at Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary for more information.
She took a bowl up, put the lime in a coconut. She called the doctor, woke him up and said, Doctor, is there nothing?
Welcome back. Maureen's Lone Star, brought to you by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, Conroe Coffee, and Jay Stittleburg for County Judge. 9:39, hanging out in the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Maureen's Lone Star with Skippy, C3 Productions, and Dick with Maureen's Lone Star Community Radio. Broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, so join in on the conversation. So, I got something for you.
Okay.
Corona, the guy who makes Corona,
the beers,
$4 billion put in more. They put $4 billion more into pot. So, do you think, when I say pot, I mean the marijuana, I mean the dope. Do you think the, I don't know if I'm
the
using
devil's weed, the Mary Jane,
yeah,
the reefer?
Do you think the fulcrum or whatever you want to say is tipping over towards making it legal?
The acceptance of marijuana?
Because everyone knows when you get enough money behind something, it's going to change.
This is absolutely true. And here's the thing. For literally my entire life, it was just drilled into me the evils of the devil's weed. You know, reefer madness, for the serious one and the funny one, or the fact that if you got caught with so much, you go off to prison. As I've gotten older, and this sounds funny because I'm a big proponent of certain legalities of it, but I don't partake myself. It's just not my bag. But I think the shift is happening. The medicinal benefits are becoming rampantly obvious. I think right now, the biggest question about the legality of marijuana or certain aspects of marijuana, remember, it's the one, and I know it's a 3-letter acronym like TCP or TCH or TH something, and I know one of our listeners is going to pipe up soon, but you have the chemical that actually causes the getting stoned and munchies that you can remove and have the other benefits of hemp or cannabis or whatever, that will happen, that you do need. When I say progressive states, I mean those like the San Franciscos of the world that will try anything as a pilot program, or Denver to try it to see if it could be done. And if it looks like it will be, that it can become more mainstream. But I think for the legality of marijuana, what's the biggest question here? It's state versus federal law. And that's what's going to eventually get to the Supreme Court. And I think there will be an actual constitutional amendment on it, because we do have two aspects of law that directly contradict each other in certain ways. And that's the Supremacy Clause and the 11th Amendment. And the Supremacy Clause says that if federal and state law are say two different things about the same topic, federal law wins. So it should be pretty obvious. Okay, federal law is it's illegal. But the 11th Amendment says this is what the federal government can oversee, and it can't make any laws on anything outside of this umbrella. And so you have to determine if marijuana follows the stop sales of marijuana or other drugs falls under federal jurisdiction. If it doesn't, then state law wins. So you have to have a pretty straightforward marijuana.
So in your opinion, what is going on with the timeline of like Colorado, say? Like, why are they allowed Colorado to do what they're doing?
Because it's in the federal law. The federal government is waiting to see what happens. Here's the thing.
So it's still, you're saying there's one individual case against Colorado that's still kind of like on the docket or whatever?
Oh, yeah. You can have lawsuits galore, and it will work its way up. But I think the fervor of them pursuing it is dependent on if someone's going to get stoned and then cause a multiple accident that kills.
Say someone
500
kills my
people.
daughter, and I'm like, you know what? I can't believe the federal government allowed this state to make it legal. And you could sue both state and federal. Would you win?
You can't sue the federal government.
You can't at all.
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Man. That's going to change, I bet, pretty soon.
No. Here's the thing. You can't sue, a private citizen cannot sue for monetary damages. Let's say the feds come knock down my door, FBI comes knocking down my door because they got bad information that there's a drug kingpin in my bedroom, hiding out in my bedroom, and they got the wrong number. I can't sue them in court for punitive damages, or I can't say, you broke and entered into my house. So that's what you can't do. But I think for like Colorado, they're waiting to see if it is much ado about nothing. If it does, if life goes on, here's the thing: we've got legalized marijuana, yet the world keeps spinning. Life is going on. Yeah. It has, and those who are saying, "Oh, it's all, we're all going to be." It's like when Texas was the 45th state to allow open carry.
Yeah,
and people, typical Texas. 44 states before Texas allowed it. They're saying, "Oh, there's going to be gunfights in the street." Nope, absolutely not. Going back to when the Sam Houston racetrack came. Oh, the mafia is going to take over Houston. No, it didn't. But you got to wait to see. It could go either way. And so with like Colorado, I think the federal government is waiting to see if the states can handle it. And if they can, then the federal government will come on board because it's something they can
I don't
tax
really
more.
see a huge outcry with the problems.
Well, you get the first outcry. It's legalized marijuana. It's blacks in the military. It's gays in the military.
I think the border states would be really interesting to see if they go the way of like Colorado and they start legalizing all like those kind of things.
Colorado is not a border state, but it may as well be because of the influx.
Well, no, because I meant more of the distribution of marijuana. Like, because Colorado now can distribute south and north and east and west.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if you're living in Texas or a border, if you're not bordering Colorado, where are you going to get your dope? Probably from Mexico.
Right, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Point. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to see what happens with that. Well, Brett's on Facebook, and he wanted to let us know that when you're recording, a lawyer recording you, that means you can no longer trust that lawyer, removing the protection of legal advocacy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, what I'm trying to see is, the attitude people treat what they say in the public and private, but with the known knowledge that if you have a phone on you, you could be recorded, right?
No, that's what. Okay, you go to your doctor.
Well, I know. I'm saying
the doctor's recording you.
I know. I'm saying separately. Like, do you believe your phone can always be recording you? Like, say NSA.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Hacker into the next room or whatever.
Yeah, my Alexa, you name it.
So, would you say that as time goes in society, we're going to become sensitive to that all the time, desensitized? Like, okay, whatever I say, it's going to be recorded.
I think we're already there. It's as long as rules and laws are followed. I have an Amazon Echo in my house, knowing that it listens to everything. And if I want total privacy, I can unplug it.
Well, because like, say your lawyer has an Amazon Echo in the office.
I would insist it be turned off.
You would?
Yeah.
You really would?
Absolutely.
And your phones too?
Yeah.
So every time you're going to go see your
not a phone.
Well, I mean, the same thing.
Well, see, an Echo
Siri's on this thing.
No, an Echo is always on by its definition. So if I'm actually in his little office,
if you say Siri right now, will your phone turn on?
If I say,
so it's going to be always on. It's always listening.
It's always listening for that, but it doesn't record everything. Now the NSA does, and you would be stupid to think otherwise. Everything we say or do,
you're getting to that point where, as a society, we're going to be trained in our brains like, oh, we're always going to be recorded. So just don't do anything stupid. But
there's always prudence. But when you go to a doctor or a lawyer, the law is the incontestable law is that anything said is 100% private and not to be disseminated in any way, shape, or form. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I go to my lawyer and he's recording. Hey, I got to record these notes here, and that gets stolen, or he's in a briefcase and his legal notes are stolen. Okay, what I say to him, he is not complicit in the dissemination of my information.
But you're already assuming everything's recorded.
Yeah.
So, like, the way I would approach it is, I'm going to tell these secrets to this guy. I'm going to have to, my way of thinking is there's a off chance for some reason it's being recorded right now. Maybe not from him, but from whatever.
Yeah, doctors always.
But then again,
patient exhibits A, B,
maybe
C,
I'm
and
not
D.
doing, really important things that I should be really afraid of. But I mean, like, imagine if can you imagine the paranoia of somebody who works with like nuclear things?
Mm-hmm.
Like how much training they probably have to go through is like, don't trust the man with the badge, like that kind of stuff.
It's not the act, and I absolutely agree. It's not the act of recording itself, because like I said, a doctor can take notes. He can record something without it being on audio.
Blink twice.
Yeah, well, it's just him making a lawyer making notes that
so
could
you're
get
telling
stolen.
Me everyone should learn sign language.
Yeah, there you go. It's the lack of ethics from these lawyers.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem, and that's what I think the wrath of God and the Supreme Court should come down on them, because that is breaking an immutable, incontestable law.
Yeah,
and beyond that, it's beyond law, beyond the spirit of law or letter of law, is that it's just wrong. And that's why this whole Omarosa recording in the Situation Room, there's a legal issue about, wait, we got to figure out if that's illegal. The reason why they don't even know that is it's never been contemplated before to do this. Because you're not, well, here's the thing, legality is if she used it on a private phone, you're not allowed to.
Well, what's funny to me, and it's kind of going off the whole, what society's doing. Like I was reading a deal where Los Angeles is now putting first ever body scanners in the subway system. So if somebody's putting body scanners in the subway system, why is there not kind of like a due diligence when you're going to the war room with the president? With like, why would Omarosa or whatever, I can't pronounce her name. Why does she need to be in that kind of room?
She was brought in there to be
in the room.
Discipline.
I meant specifically in that room.
Yeah, she was taken into the Situation Room because that is one of the most secure rooms in the universe. To say, hey, listen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
So secure enough to where the person who you're disciplining has a recording device on them,
which broke law and protocol
I'm
by
just
doing.
Saying, like that makes no sense to me.
I also disagree with body scanners for public transportation, because public transportation, by definition, is there for the people with an expectation of privacy, an expectation of
but no one cares anymore. That's what I'm saying. Society doesn't care anymore,
and that's what the problem is. And I think that's what the tipping point will be. When people realize when it gets turned on you.
I don't think they'll care.
Okay.
I really don't. I think it's something that as long as they get to the place they're trying to go to and there's not a lot of interruptions, no one really cares. I mean, look how a bunch of people put up with TSA. People put up with that every day. And there's not like it hasn't really changed since day one.
TSA to me is an overreach of government.
Well, I know, but I'm just like no one really cares.
But that's the thing; they've come to accept it, and I may have to accept what TSA does, but I also know that its existence is pretty much cosmetic. The 3.4 fluid ounce limit.
You could argue studies all day, but no one really cares, and they're still going to do their job. No one's going to like come out and say, you know what, we're getting rid of the TSA because they're causing too many issues for people.
Oh no, they're not. But it is. The TSA is a wonderful example of the overreach of government, which I'm firmly opposed to.
Who cares? Like I want to see change.
I care.
I want to see change in it.
I care. Well,
like, it makes
vote for me in 2020 for president.
It just makes no sense to me that someone will allow a person in the ready room who I don't even know what she does. Does she have anything to do with what needs to be said in the war room or whatever? Like, it makes no sense to me that you wouldn't check that person who's not normally in that room.
If they had searched her, she would have screamed racism, sexism, inappropriate touching, Me Too, ACLU would have gotten in on it. That, search the black woman.
Well, yeah, but you can also argue everyone who goes in that room needs to be searched.
But
unless they have a security clearance above this thing. It's like paying VIP for TSA.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Usually in that room, it's generals.
They should just follow the TSA model. You gotta have the membership to skip the line and skip the right.
You got a point there.
You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star, IRLoneStar.com. Trump, you can make money off that. Pay for the VIP radio war room access. Listen to Lone Star Community Radio 952. We'll be right back.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with the Lone Star Community Radio.
Does your company have needs that can be met by an employee who is dependable, hardworking, enthusiastic, motivated, cooperative, respectful, and punctual? Conroe Independent School District Special Education Department can meet your needs by connecting you with potential employees that have been preparing for a lifetime of employment. We have numerous individuals seeking paid and unpaid work experiences. If your company is interested in seeing how we can meet your business needs, call Conroe ISD Special Education Department to find the best employees for you at 936-709-7671.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
The doctor woke him up and said, "Doctor, is there nothing I could take?" I said, doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I say, doctor, is there nothing I could take? I say, the doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I say,
now let me get this straight. Put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. You put the lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up.
Hello, welcome back to Mornings Lone Star. Dick and Skippy, 9:55 on the dot in the Lone Star Studios. 84 degrees outside, going to get up to 92. Partly cloudy today, only a 10% chance of rain all day, all night, all week long.
Traffic. It's the same.
It's the same.
No issues.
Do be prepared starting around 2 o'clock today. Be cautious for those school zones people. A, you don't want to get a ticket, but B, you also don't want to run over a kid. Keep off the cell phone. Know that this is the funny thing. According to law, let's say it's right on the time that you enter the school zone and it's not active yet.
Like you're in between the zones?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The second that clock hits whatever the time is, it's in effect. So if you go in the school zone saying, well, the lights weren't on blinking, or if you're within the school zone.
I've learned that you still argue with the officer. I've learned that. You're just like, sure, I did it. Like, you don't admit it you did it. Like, sure, okay, I understand. Okay, I understand.
I thought you said you do argue with the officer.
No, you just don't. You just like do whatever you got to do. I mean, like, whatever.
Yes, we suggest that you don't argue, that you don't say, well, I'm glad there's no real crime going on right now, officer.
No, you don't say anything. You're just like, whatever.
Just say, thank you, officer. Just whatever you do, don't check my trunk.
No.
No?
I ever tell you a story about the officer pulling a gun on me?
Did you deserve it?
No, he said I was making him nervous because my hands were in my pocket.
Did he tell you to take your hands out of your pocket?
After he pulled out his gun.
Did you take your hands out of your pocket?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is it was the weirdest. I think I was going like 80 and a 70. And I was moving. So I had a bunch of like stuff in my car. And he asked me to get out because he couldn't like see everything. Because I just had, like, you know, like when you're moving, you have a small car. You just have like everything over your head and like all that stuff.
Was this Jersey Village? Because this
is some
similar
small town.
Jersey
This is some
Village.
small town between here and Abilene.
Okay.
And he asked me to get out of the car. And I got out of the car. And I was sitting, he's like, let me go check this. I was like, okay. So I was just kind of sitting with my hands on my car like that. And he comes out and he's like, starts talking. And he was doing this. And he looked up and he saw it. And he goes, get your hands out of your pocket. And I was like, oh, okay.
When you're pulled over, just don't put your hands in your pocket. That's dumb.
Really?
Yeah. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys.
So you're telling me what I should do is go ahead and put my hands behind my back and get on my knees and just wait?
Yeah.
That's so he knows.
I just want that
I'm
to
a
happen
non-threat. I'm a non-threat. So.
Anyhow, Dick's recidivism aside here, we have our special guest in the studio.
Hey, Jay, have you ever been arrested? That's a great question to ask an elected official, right?
Oh, that is cold, man. Don't be doing that. Welcome, Jay Stittleburg for county.
Well, it's funny. I was reading about Beto, who's going against Ted Cruz. And then I was like, because the thing I love about Wikipedia is you can tell when things have been jumbled or like whoever's being, especially with political stuff or anything that's controversial history. I guess he had some controversy, but it gave zero detail. It was like, oh, he's arrested for burglary. I'm like, wait a second. How did somebody get arrested for burglary and just nothing else happens? Because it didn't say like, oh, he's acquitted or anything. Just like he was arrested. I was like, does that mean he went to jail or does that mean he was innocent? It was just a misunderstanding.
That's why it's very important to me to specify I've never been convicted of any crime.
Yes,
there's a big old difference on that.
But
so,
how much money have you spent on court fees and lawyers? That's the big question.
Well, for my last divorce, it was about $70,000.
You have a Wikipedia, Jay?
I don't think so.
We should put one up.
Yeah, we're gonna make a Wikipedia
You sound like
page
an
for it.
interesting guy.
We've got Jay Stittleburg in the studio here, candidate for Montgomery County Judge. How you doing, Jay?
Great. How you doing?
Good to see you today. We already met earlier today. Well, we met before, but we hung out earlier at the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce.
We did.
Was that your first meeting there?
No.
Many a time. I've missed the last several months. So it was good seeing you there.
Yeah.
And I see your campaign's already in full swing. You
It
had
is.
a lady, I forget her name.
Oh, Penny.
Penny. That's it. So how's the campaign going so far?
Great. I think things are really picking up. I think people are starting to pay more attention, which is really good. I can't encourage people enough to pay attention to local politics. If you don't, you should start because it affects your pocketbook faster than anything else does. So,
yeah, it was funny is I think on this ballot, the putting somebody on a board or whatever for the SJRA groundwater thing I think that's probably one
Yeah,
of the
Lone Star Groundwater Conservation District Board.
Well, is that what it is? Like
Uh-huh.
now we can elect the board
Yeah.
for them?
Yeah, that was originally appointed positions, and now that went in because of the kerfuffle with or against San Jacinto River Authority. Now for Lone Star Groundwater
'Cause
Conservation
I feel like
District.
that's going to be a big issue for the non-voter because once you tell them, hey, we can actually affect how much money you pay a month for your water bill, like, oh, okay, I got to vote for that.
Yeah, well,
what's your angle then, Jay? You got to come up with an angle. Like, vote for me, you're going to save money. You got Mattress Mac on your side, man. Get him to be like every time you close out a speech, he'll save you. Come on,
pull the dollars out of my back pocket. Yeah, that'd look real.
I mean,
good,
that had an impact on people. He's still around. And he's highly successful.
I remember that very first commercial back in the 80s when he did it.
You just got to get that one slogan, and people get it. They're like, "Oh, great! I've got to vote for that guy."
Well, you have a slogan. It's working for you.
Ready to work for you.
Ready to work for you. That's it.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
What's
and
that?
How many people and how long did it take?
Oh, it didn't take that long. I mean, this is.
I'm just
easy.
curious. I just know a lot of people in political world like let's spend lots of money to figure out our logo and our slogan.
Well, it depends on how good it is. I mean, whoever thought that jib was a good idea with exclamation
That's
point
what I'm saying.
needs
Like,
to be shot.
you know, somebody sat down and figured that out.
Okay, so Mr. Bush, you got this idea. Okay, we're gonna have you looking all tough and badass and stuff, and we're gonna say jib with an exclamation point. That was
It worked
Well,
though, right?
Some are better. Some are better than others, right?
It worked in that it narrowed the GOP candidate count for the
true.
presidential.
And plus, it
primary
made a
vote.
lot of funny things on the internet.
Yeah, that was bad. So I know we talked earlier, but in case we have new listeners, let's talk about the county judge, what the duties are, and you know what you bring to the table on it.
Yeah. So again, the county judge is essentially the chief executive officer of the county, the senior administrator, if you will, of the county. He's the head of the commissioner's court, and they are responsible for basically ensuring that the county departments provide services to the citizens that they should provide. And in doing so, they create the county budget, which that process is still ongoing right now. And that ultimately sets the county's portion of the property taxes on your property. And then obviously they award county contracts to fix roads, build parks, build bridges, whatever it is. And they manage those contracts. So that's really what they do. The county judge name is a little bit of a misnomer for folks. It's not a robe wearing
You
trial
got married
here.
Dick and Holly at the end of the year.
So did I ask why they decided to go with that term? Like why county judge? Because that probably throws off 100% of people who have
It does.
zero idea.
It's the number one question I get asked.
Yeah. So like, why on earth did we decide on that? Can we?
Yeah, so when Texas set up these county governments, and all 254 counties in the state have the same setup for their government, they split the counties into 4 precincts. There is some leeway in the rules of how many precincts they can actually split it up to, but typically you see 4. Each has an elected commissioner and then the elected county judge. And back when they actually instituted these, most areas of Texas were rural. So this was the conduit from the folks that live in the counties to Austin. And in those days, the county judge, the populations were fairly small in all these counties, and the county judge actually did have judicial responsibilities. And some small counties today still do have judicial responsibilities, but as the population grows in a county, those judicial responsibilities get pulled away from the commissioner's court and they get transferred to, for example, in Montgomery County, the county court at laws. And so for those, you do actually have to be a lawyer to run for those and get those judgeships. But they transfer that responsibility.
So what you're telling me at one point in time of history in Montgomery County, they go, hey, let's stop actually requiring judges or whatever the prerequisite to be a judge for the county judge because we want them to focus on over here, but we're going to keep the name.
That's exactly what they do.
I mean, like, why not? Why do they not change that at the time? You think it's just foresight?
Well, Viewmore's
foresight?
judge like Simon Cowell. You know, he's going to sit over the other county commissioners because the county judge also can act as the tiebreaker.
Well, no, I
in a
understand the
commissioner's
role,
court.
but I meant more of to not confuse people. What do we do to change the name
Yeah,
county judge? Can
and
we
it-
change
yeah,
it to
you-
county head commissioner?
Get it on the ballot.
Change the Constitution of Texas.
No, like is that? I mean, it really does confuse. I mean, that
It does
that's-
confuse
you
people. You're
that's probably
absolutely
one of
right.
those things y'all sat down. Like, how are we going to get people to be informed and educated about the county judge?
Yeah, because it definitely confuses people. I mean, people will ask me, well, you're not a lawyer. Why? How can you be a judge? And I have to explain exactly what I explained, that this job doesn't have anything to do with being a judge.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with, spending your tax
So we had to
dollars.
change the Texas Constitution.
Right. Because also don't forget, to be justice of the peace, you don't have to be a judge.
That's correct. You don't have to
Again.
be a lawyer.
Yeah, you don't even have to be a lawyer. In fact,
It's almost like you run for it just to have a cool name. Because people take you more serious when you're a judge, or a justice.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a perk, right?
Take what you can get. So as we said earlier, Jay, so obviously working with the commission, you're part the position of county judge is part of commissioner's court.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 other commissioners. 2 of them are up for election/re-election because that's a rotating thing, half
Correct.
the court. So you never have like a full sweep. How familiar are you with the commissioners? Have you interacted with them? Your thoughts on what kind of relationship do you think there should be within the commissioner's court?
Yeah, I certainly have spoken with all of the commissioners, some more than others, quite frankly. But I've been trying to forge relationships with not just the commissioners, but all the elected officials in the county, just so they know who I am and know that I am open to always having a conversation, because I think that's what we need to do in our politics. We have to be able to sit down and have discussions, and we can have disagreements on things, and that's fine, but we can also hammer out a solution. And so for me, there to me is no issue with any kind of partisanship or any of those types of things, because the goal of the elected officials in county government should be to move our county forward to the next level. And your party affiliation has nothing to do with that, because this job is not a legislating job. It's about providing services to the citizens of the county, and it's about spending their tax dollars with accountability and transparency, and letting people know where you stand. And if they disagree with you, which is okay if they disagree with you, that you can at least explain your decision-making process for why you're doing something. And I think most taxpayers respect that, and that's what they want. They may not always agree, but at least they'll know why.
Well, that's one of the hardest things, too, for a platform like that, is how to inform a person of that statement. Because I know social media and technology has kind of gotten you actually don't just have a reach, you have a touch to an individual to understand, like, this is what I'm doing. You should check out this video or this website. Like, these are my statements. And those are always my favorite, when like people are like, oh, 2 years ago it said something different. Right. But I think that's really important for people to get involved with local politics, because I think local politics is simple enough to where people can understand what's happening by just looking at a web page and understanding, oh, so this is what he means by this.
That's right.
And I'm informed now, opposed to bigger issues that affect the whole 50 states and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because a lot of people get lost in that. But locally, like for especially the county judge, the decisions you're making seem to be simple. In a way, there's ways to make it seem simple.
Sure. I think some of the decision-making process is complex. I think, there's obviously differing opinions on every issue. Every issue is going to have differing opinions. And again, the point of being a leader is that when you make decisions, they're not always the most popular decisions, but they're the right decisions. And oftentimes the right decisions are not the most popular, but you have to be willing to stand up and stand behind your decision and give the rationale of why you do it.
Well, especially like the county judge does see over, though the commissioner's court does see a lot of roads, conditions, and building. So like in technology, you can actually put an online thing showing you where things are happening, the stages it's happening. And you can even have a little quib about, this is why we're doing it in this stage or something like that.
That's right. And the commissioner's court, the county actually does have a map on their website that shows, for example, the 2015 road bond that people voted on. They do have a link on their website.
Do they have like a Domino's pizza reel where it's like, this is the percentage of completion?
So it kind of shows what phase
goal.
It's in and where it is. It doesn't give a big description of it, but it does at least show.
It would help me. I would I'm a visual person. I'm like, oh, we're at 30%. Cool.
Right.
We're almost to the boxing part.
That's
great.
Exactly when I talked about the road projects plan.
Yeah.
I talked about last time. That's exactly what I'm talking about, is being able to show the major milestones and where those projects are in those major milestones, as opposed to just a map with where they are, kind of a color code of potentially some range of where they are. So
I want to take that and run with it, because like with the 2015 road bond election, that was my first real exposure to Montgomery County politics. It was like, it's a road bond, but it was being treated almost like a presidential campaign.
Right.
Battle lines were drawn.
Yes.
And I got a sense of that. And then like in the recent, like the primaries that happened, especially on the GOP side, it was the 2-mile stretch of road. That was the make or break talking point. So with the commissioner's court, there's so many different aspects of the county it oversees. And we're going to go to break. So I'll let you think about it just over break. What do you think is the number one issue that needs addressing? Because, you know, commissioner's court's been wrapped up in animal shelter, mosquito abatement, drainage, so, you know, and toll roads, it's everything. So I'd like, when we come back, if you don't mind saying, like, what you think day one tackle should be.
Sure.
Cool. You're listening to Dick and Skippy in the mornings along with Jay Stittleburg. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple.
Woke him up, said, Doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, Doctor, to relieve this belly ache. I said, Doctor.
You are listening to the Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Hey, Montgomery County and online listeners. Thank you so very much for checking out Jazzy Vibes with Soul. What? You haven't done so yet? Well, you've got to tune in. Hi, I am the host of Jazzy Vibes with Soul, Miss CeCe Holmes, and I invite you to check us out every Friday and Saturday from 7 until 9 p.m., where you will get the best in old school R&B and, of course, a little smooth jazz to make it jazzy. So tune in. That's right, tune in every Friday and Saturday right here on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your questions. Get seen on TV, YouTube, and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Support your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Welcome back, Mornings Lone Star, irlonestar.com. It is 10:14. Hanging out in the LSCR studios with Jay Stittleburg for County Judge. Taking questions. Is that right if I say that? Sure. All right, yeah. Taking questions off Facebook Live. And is that okay? Oh, we're on there. Oh, okay, good. I'm sitting here with my co-host. I'm sitting here with my co-host, Skippy from C3 Productions, hanging out in the studio on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and worldwide at irlonestar.com. Welcome back. We're here till 11 o'clock, so we got plenty of time to hang out. All right, so you asked a teaser question. Can you repeat it for the audience?
Which one was it again? Because that's like 2 or 3 off the air.
You don't remember you're asking? You don't remember what you're asking?
I was thinking if you were paying attention is what I'm doing.
Oh, well, no, I'm doing so much over here on this side of the wood. It's just like, you got to give me a break.
Gotcha. Okay, so my question for Jay was, the Commissioner's Court is responsible for a lot of items, but especially in the last couple of years, I've noticed, and this is Skippy's own personal view, which may or may not reflect necessarily the views of Lone Star Radio, animal shelter gate, flood gate, mud gate, not the mud, but the other one where, there's jail time for someone
that's
because they
sign worthy. Anything that's sign worthy?
Well, not even, it goes beyond it. There's some rabid thoughts in Montgomery County politics that I've noticed. And there's been jail time for, is this a RUD setting up a residency in a hotel? All these things have come across Commissioner's Court. And so it can easily get lost in the shuffle. Again, the primary, I think, hinged on the GOP side, what side you came in down on a 2-mile part of road that probably no one's going to drive who voted on it. So cutting through it, what do you think is like the number one issue that should be addressed in regards to the Commissioner's Court's responsibilities?
Yeah, the honest truth is the first thing that needs to happen is we need to put a strategic plan together for the county.
Okay, explain.
And that strategic plan is going to address a lot of these issues that you kind of just talked about, right? We have immense population growth in this county, and how are we going to be proactive as we move down the road? Because the population growth is not going to stop. It's not like we're going to put a gate up and say, nope, we're not going to take anybody else. It's just going to keep flowing. So, we need to put a plan together that shows us how are we going to, deal with public safety when it comes to with the population growth. What is the sheriff's department, the constable's offices? What are they going to need over the next 5 years and over the next 10 years to make sure that they can provide public safety to the community? And that even goes into play with the Woodlands, with their incorporation versus staying unincorporated, right? Because that has a big effect, because if they incorporate, then they're going to have their own police department. And then that will take some of the pressure off of the sheriff's department and the constable's offices, quite frankly. So how does that all work together? Flood mitigation, right? Flood mitigation has no one simple answer, and there's no one thing that's going to fix it. But we have to work with the San Jacinto River Authority. We have to work with the Harris County Flood Control District. We have to work, quite frankly, with the mud districts, throw drainage in here when it comes to infrastructure. And these are all types of issues that we need to coordinate and talk about. We need to put a plan in place on how we're going to try to move forward and affect those things, right? So they're doing some dredging of the West Fork of the San Jacinto right now. The Army Corps of Engineers is doing that. And that's great. I mean, it's needed, but that's not the solution. There's many things that have to happen. I know a lot of people talk about the temporary right now lowering of the water level in Lake Conroe during certain time periods, which is a temporary thing right now. That's not something permanent that's going to stay there. And so we'll see what happens. Of course, you're kind of playing, a gambling game with Mother Nature, because Mother Nature will do whatever she wants whenever she wants.
Right.
Well, what kind of control does the county commissioners and the judge, or is it just
Commissioner's Court?
What kind of power does the Commissioner Court have over that? Is it a financial thing, or is it more of a policy thing, or is it both?
This is really more of a cooperation issue, right? Because the county judge is the head of emergency management for the county.
Okay.
That is part of their primary duties. And so this is why you see Ed Emmett on TV every time the hurricanes are coming, and he's telling you to hunker down, because the county judge is the head of emergency management. So you have to work with these organizations when
you're the public face for the emergencies.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I'm worried about what's happening in my county, I need to pay attention to what the court says, the Commissioner's Court in you.
Yeah, the county judge.
You're the official.
As he said,
like, go to this place, and you listen to him.
Houstonians did not know what to do in regards to when a hurricane comes until Ed Emmett got on the air and said, hunker down, or we're going to phase this. Let Galveston go. You stay there, let Galveston go through, and then you follow them up. And so I think that was an awesome, in the old sense of the word, responsibility. Not awesome, but like, wow, that this one voice, if he got it wrong, that's putting himself out there.
When was that? That wasn't for Harvey, was it?
Well, that's after Katrina and Rita.
Okay.
Because that's where, you had the bus incident where people died. And I hunkered down myself. I lived off of 45, And I had friends as they were inching along over that 24-hour period. I was in an upstairs apartment, so I'd just come down, sit in their car, let them go to use my bathroom, relax for 20 minutes. They come back out to the car on the freeway, and I'd moved like a foot if you were lucky. So I was fortunate that I was able to stay where I was. But after that, Emmett went out there saying, okay, this is how, if you notice, that's how the freeway started getting rid of the barriers in between and doing the hurricane evacuation routes. And he said, we have to have a plan. I think maybe there was a lack of a strategic plan on that too, just how that perfect storm of getting Katrina people here, and then on the heels of that, Rita happens to where we have double the capacity having to bug out of Houston area.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not localized to Texas by any stretch. I mean, I lived in South Carolina when Hurricane Floyd came through in 2000, and I chose to stay. I chose not to leave. And I can tell you that some of my friends that decided to leave, they literally sat in their car and maybe went about a quarter of a mile in 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't have a plan, you actually put people in more danger.
Mm-hmm.
Being out in the elements and not being able to go anywhere and running out of gas and having to go to the bathroom, all these simple things, right? So we need that plan. So that's number one. We need the strategic plan. And quite frankly, the second thing that I would do as the county judge is I would start setting my schedule with having conversations with every department within the county government. And that's talking to the management and the frontline workers, because I think it's important that when the budget cycle comes around, you can be a better citizen. I can be a better leader of looking over the budget and being able to ask tough questions. If I truly understand what each department's doing, what kind of efficiency they have, what kind of computer systems do they use to do payroll, which I can tell you some of them are archaic. It's like DOS-based stuff. They waste a lot of time and effort. And there's so much cost savings that we can actually find from that if we implement the right software tools that are available to streamline these jobs. So I think it's incumbent that I go around and understand those things, because I don't need to be an expert in what they do. That's what their job is. But I certainly should have a baseline understanding of what kind of traffic comes through their offices, and are the right people in the right places, and what kind of morale do they have, because that plays to everything when it comes to how a county, city, state moves forward and how they conduct business. So,
well,
I'm waiting for Dick to say.
Well, I don't want.
Go
See,
for it,
you've been giving kind of looks like, don't ask those questions, man.
No, ask the question.
Well, it's funny because you say it's cooperation and that kind of stuff for the flooding, but to me, I'm still not hearing something that's more of a concrete answer. It's like, oh, hey, cooperation. Well, of course, we're all got to work together.
Yeah, sure.
So, is there any like financial spending going on?
There is financial spending going on.
Okay,
there's studies being done in
Okay.
cooperation with Harris County Flood Control District and the San Jacinto River Authority.
And that's
the
part
counties
of
contributed
that's part
some
of the
money.
commissioner's court said, hey, let's spend $10
Yes,
on this,
absolutely.
or let's do Dutch city of Conroe. You go 10, I'll go 10, like that.
Well,
is that cooperation you're talking about?
That's what they do. And there's certain things that the commissioner's court does have control over. And we saw this in Harris County. They did it literally a month after Hurricane Harvey came through, but they actually made more stringent building codes in floodplains. So, in a 500-year floodplain, they've now said that a builder has to build the house X number of inches above basically ground zero.
But those are new houses, right?
That's exactly right.
So old houses are kind of like,
old houses get grandfathered, but here's the deal, right? If there's houses that continually get flooded, then quite frankly, sometimes the answer is you have to get them in a buyout program and tear that house down, and there's never going to be a house built there
can't just
again.
condemn it.
Because
sorry, who lost all
I
your
think
money?
I think it's going to happen with my neighborhood soon enough. If we flood one or two more times, then I live pretty much across the street from Panther Creek Ranch.
That's right. And so so with the growing county and growing development, the other thing we have to look at is when a developer comes in and wants to develop a piece of property, there's certain studies that they're required to do.
Mhm.
And these studies should show what happens with water patterns when they put all this concrete in place. And we need to make sure as a county that we have the right people that can actually read these and evaluate them and make sure that they make sense and there's not mistakes in them. We need to make sure that when these developers fill out permits, that they're actually filling out the proper permits, because if you look at like Tiburon and Tiburon Lakes that flooded during Harvey, and the citizens there did a study, the professionals there, and when you read that study, you'll understand that FEMA actually gave some authority to some local Harris County officials, And when they went and filled out some of the permits and requirements that they were supposed to do, they used the wrong forms. They didn't use the right things, which made less requirements of what they had to do in these studies. And if you look at the before, during, and after pictures of when they built Tiburon and Tiburon Lakes, you can actually see, I mean, there should be no question in your mind, where is this water going to go? Because they basically built it on a watershed where water collected. So if now you're building on it, that water is still going to go somewhere. So how did we evaluate that? And so these are the types of things that the Commissioner's Court actually has some control over. And I'm all about development, but I'm also all about responsible development. We want to make sure that people's property is protected. So.
No, with my understanding of the Commissioner's Court is, like, for example, roads and things, that's in the county areas. So, for example, the city of Conroe, they take care of their own roads. And so when it comes to the flooding and setting these responsibilities, is that something that the Commissioner's Court can have authority over the city of Conroe about how they do permits? Or is that what you're also saying about the cooperation? Like, hey, let's have it across the board. Let's make sure we're all doing the same type of responsible permit system or something like that.
That's right. So you have to do cooperation.
Okay,
so you can't just go and say to an incorporated area, you're going to do this the way I want you to do it.
Well, you say the county, that's what I was trying to think. I was like, okay, so pretty much down the line, the county is only responsible for the county areas that are designated by the county, not
the whole
unincorporated areas. Okay. So now I'm trying to understand, like,
of which Montgomery County, over 80% of Montgomery County is unincorporated.
And now if Woodlands does incorporate, what percentage is that now? Do you know? Does anyone know that?
It's a secret.
Oh, is there really? I thought there were studies and stuff, so I figured there's already.
I'm not about to admit on the air I don't know.
Yeah, so they're 20% of the population.
Okay.
As far as like land mass,
I'm in land mass. When you
as
say
far as
80%,
land mass is
I'm thinking,
concerned, they I don't know the number off the top of my head. I've never calculated it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's
a good number,
15% or something of that, maybe 20% at most.
So cooperation,
because they have a pretty condensed.
I'm understanding what you mean by cooperation now. Like that's a very important issue.
I mean, you have to build relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how things work. You know, you can't just say I'm going to do it and it's my way or the highway. You have to sit and forge relationships and come out with the best solution that tries to keep things consistent across the board. Because what you don't want to have happen is some rule that's in place on an unincorporated area from the county, but then you can just move a mile into the city of Conroe and they let you do whatever you want to.
Yeah, like a container home.
So that doesn't help us solve the problems.
Okay. So what do you call people like, hey, did you get my email? Did you get my email, man? You ever met people like that? It was called right after the email. Did you check the email? Okay, you gotta check that email, man. No, Sean, you don't know?
I don't even check my email, man.
Oh, well, then you're not going to follow the permit process that he's trying to set up.
No, I'm the worst person on the world.
You're not going to be in charge.
That's why I'm not running for county judge, because I would be so terrible at it.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
So do you want to take us out?
I don't mind taking it out. 10:28 on the dot on Wednesday, August 15th. We got Jay Stittleburg in the studio with us. We're going to sucker him into hanging out with us a little bit longer here. Back with Dick and Skippy in just a couple.
She drink a bowl up, put the lime in the coconut. She drink a bowl up, put the lime in the coconut. She called the doctor.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org. That's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
She put the lime in the coconut, she drink a bowl up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drink a bowl up. Put the lime in. Called the doctor, woke him up and said, Doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, Doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I said, Doctor, is there nothing I could take? I said, Doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I said,
Now let me get this straight. Put the lime in the coconut.
Hello, welcome back. Mornings, Lone Star, Dick and Skippy. 10:32 on the dot in the studios. Temperature, it is, down in Houston, it's 87. Here in Conroe, it's 86. Only a 10% chance of rain all day, all night. We're Lairs. That's all I got.
Yeah, we got Jay Stittleburg for County Judge in the studio. If you're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or if you have access to the internet, contact us and ask a question for Jay. He's going to be appearing periodically throughout the weeks until November 6th, which is when you can vote. Early voting starts October 22nd.
October 22nd through November the 2nd.
Do we know if you can still register to vote right now?
Yes, you can register through October the 9th. Yeah, I was going to say the 2nd, but I think you're right. I think the 9th. But yeah, you still have some time to register.
Okay.
And you want to do it. It's painless. You don't got to give blood.
As county commissioner or county judge, are you in charge of the mctx.org?
The website?
Yeah.
Well, the county's in charge of it, right?
So why does it keep teasing me when I go to /election? It's like, oh, we have a new website. No, we don't. We have the old one.
Oh, the legacy. Yeah.
It always goes to the legacy.
Yeah, whoever does the forward needs to work on that.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, oh, cool, a new website. And then it's like, oh, got switched over to the new or old one, which is always, I mean, it's good. It works, I guess. But
there you go. We'll have a new judge get right on that.
Well, I was just curious who's in charge of that.
The webmaster.
So, okay.
You should
Can we
offer your
continue,
services.
Can you continue on with the show? You're just going to look at me awkwardly with silence.
I think you should offer your services to it because you handle the Lone Star website really awesomely.
Yeah, it's a pain. I do it every day.
I know.
But yeah, that's a fun job. I can't imagine being how big's your camp or like your political minions? How many do you have?
My team?
Your team, yeah, that's the right way to put it.
There's 4 of us.
Minions probably isn't the right. There's 4?
4 of us, and then obviously some, volunteers that occasionally do stuff and help us out. But there's 4 of us that are,
Do you mind if we get them in here one time with you?
As long as they don't mind.
I just want to see how
Hey, if
well
you tell them to show up, they're going to show up.
I want to see how well fed they are. Because that
Well,
kind of thing.
Actually, let's talk about campaign if you don't mind.
Sure.
Does your campaign have a flavor? Is it grassroots? It's going to be phone heavy? Or are you going to be banging on doors? How do you intend to reach people?
Yeah, so we've been, I can tell you, we've been doing town halls all across the county for the last 7 or 8 months or so. And people want to have a house party or a coffee or a tea. They have it at their house and they invite their neighbors over so that they can be introduced to me and I can go sit and talk to them and answer their questions.
Jay Stittleburg, you want to come over for some tea?
Right.
Right. And we obviously have been out canvassing, knocking on doors. The party does that as well. So, we try to combine efforts as much as we can on doing those types of things. There's lots of doors in Montgomery County. And one campaign can't go obviously knock on all of them. So we really combine efforts in that regard. We do phone banking, and again, we'll start doing more of that as we get a little closer to the election. This it's a little early to start doing some certain things like that. And of course, over the summer, especially July and August, you don't really want to do a lot of canvassing and door knocking because it's 110 degrees outside.
Please vote for me. Give me
You
water.
should take a note from Amazon. Just have drones do it.
So
No, do your
That would
segues.
be
Your segues with the iPads on.
that would be very.
Oh yeah, segues
interesting.
with the iPad. So it's like you have a video on loop. Hi, I'm Jay Stittleburg. That'd be great.
Just come down by the door.
Well, just let it loose in the mall.
Yeah.
You know, people would be freaked out. Like, what's this guy keep talking to me for?
Right.
Well, that's one of the funniest things about the thing I've been hearing on the internet is the Beto. What's his last name?
O'Rourke.
He's getting a lot of flack online because apparently he bought phone numbers. So whoever's in charge of his campaign bought phone numbers and he texts everybody. And everyone's like, how do they get my number? And it freaks people out.
I'm
And
not freaked out. I'm laughing because I get texts from his campaign and I'm just not an O'Rourke kind of guy.
Well, no, I think
so.
that's
I
one
was
of
wondering,
those-
it's like that. I knew that was a phone, that was a number.
they bought
by.
somebody, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I wondered if Ted Cruz bought it, and I have no idea because I haven't gotten anything from Ted. So I'm like, Ted, you're behind, and you gotta buy some more phone numbers, man.
Well, that leads to a good question. How important is engagement in a campaign? You know, with community outreach and showing up.
It's immensely important to show up. And that's why we do what we do with the chambers. I mean, we go to all the chamber events around the county, and unfortunately, some of them do them on the same days. So, I'll send a representative and I'll try to
sounds
rotate
like they need a county
myself.
judge to work on, cohesion and stuff like that.
Right.
You guys start working together.
But
yeah.
you definitely have to engage the voters, and you need to show up, and you need to talk to them, and you need to answer their questions and listen to their concerns, because that's what they really want. And they recognize the fact when you show up. I mean, people have recognized the fact that I show up to a lot of things in this county.
I don't understand why people send people representatives of a representative. Like, that kind of confuses the heck out of me when I run into that kind of thing. Like, oh, I work for so and so, and I'm here representing that person. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? That he didn't have time to come, but he has enough money to pay someone else to come?
Well, and that's, for some people that may be an unintended consequence, but the truth is that when you talk to most people, the fact that they understand that I am one person and there's a lot of things going on at the same time, and they know I can't be everywhere at once. But I always make an effort when I can, and when we have people available to go represent the campaign at these different events, and they actually, quite frankly, appreciate the fact that I take the time.
Is it a more
have
complex
somebody
thank you
go.
note? Is that what it is? It's a more complex thank you note.
Well, I think it's a point of being engaged.
Yeah.
When I send my folks out to go to an event that I can't make it to, I usually ask them to take notes and ask, if somebody asks questions and they don't know the answer to it, then write it down and make sure you get it to me so that I can answer that question and get a contact so I can
See that
respond
benefit
back
on
to
your
them.
side. I see that.
Right. So, because you can't be everywhere
And
all
also,
the time.
especially if you're the incumbent, let's say,
the reality,
the
I
incumbent, a congressional rep right now is literally can't be here because he's up in Washington. So you got to send a rep. So as Jay was saying here.
I think it's more of like, I'm trying to understand the impact it has, because
It actually has a pretty significant impact.
I mean,
I think a lot of it would depend on the rep. If they say, he's not
Well.
here. But if you say, golly, he really wishes he could be here, but he can't, but I'll pass your questions on. And that's what I'm saying about engagement.
Yep.
Kind of going beyond sound bites.
That's
maybe.
right. And obviously, I wish I could be at all these events, right? I wish we lived in the days of Star Trek. I could kick my little thing.
You'd be tired.
And,
transport
energize myself from one place
Yeah.
to another. But
Okay, he did a Star Trek reference. I guess his stock goes up a
Are
little
you-
bit more here. Another notch.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how it really, like, because imagine being in a campaign and trying to figure out what is the best time to spend your time on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that was kind of the thing. When you see a rep there, is like, there's clearly he's doing something that's more important. And after a while, I'm like,
well, let me give you a prime example.
Okay.
So this morning, right,
Okay.
I went to the Woodlands Chamber breakfast
Yes.
networking event. Well, the East Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce has the same networking breakfast on the same morning.
Ooh.
So I went to the East Montgomery County one last month, and I sent a representative to the Woodlands one last month. This month, because I went to East County last month, I swapped. So I went to the Woodlands one today, and I had a representative go to the East Montgomery County one.
So
And-
I'm your campaign strategist. I would totally suggest to do a lookalike and do your best to get as many impersonators as possible. And I think that people will remember that. I'm just saying, at least they know what you look like and they know what you kind of sound like.
Maybe the paper masks.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jay Stittleburg.
I mean,
See if I can. You think I can pass myself off as him?
I mean, I think it'd be hilarious if you you try to look as best like him, and that would be.
Well, I'll just say this. There's a running joke in the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce that JJ Holly and I have because people think we look a lot alike, and we've joked with each other like, well, maybe I should go to your event. You should go to my event. So
I do. Yeah, there's a definite resemblance.
Well, is there any event coming up for this month that you really want the public to know about, so they can come see you and especially give you a platform that's not a stupid morning show, but it's more of like, oh, hey, I actually want to answer your questions? Or
yeah, so there's two events. Two events I'll talk about. It one's on the 23rd of August at 7:30 at the Shenandoah Municipal Complex. That is the debate that's been scheduled.
Slow down. Say that again.
So sorry, I didn't mean to talk so fast.
No, I'm trying. You said it's
on August 23rd.
Okay,
which is a Thursday at 7:30 p.m. at the Shenandoah Municipal Complex. There's a debate that's being put on.
Okay.
This is the debate that I've accepted, and my opponent has declined to come, but they are still holding the debate.
When do they change the name?
It's more of a monologue.
When do they get rid of the debate?
So
I can go and pretend to be the other guy.
So here's the good thing about it. First of all, is that I'll still get asked all the questions that they come up with. There will still be audience participation to be able to ask me questions. So it's a way to engage me and be able to talk, and it will be streamed on Facebook Live and other things.
So could your opponent technically send in a rep?
Well, he could. I don't think it'd be a good decision for something like that.
I'm just trying to understand this rep sending.
That is not something you send a rep to.
Okay, good. So that's happening on August
23rd.
Where?
At the Shenandoah Municipal Complex.
Okay.
On I-45.
Okay. At 7:30.
That's right.
Right after dinner.
And the other event I'll talk about is I'm holding a fundraiser on September 2nd, which is the Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
In the evening, and I believe it's at 7:00, and it's at the Southern Star Brewery here in Colorado.
And you're probably going to see me there. So
yeah,
fancy running into you.
Yeah, you had him at beer.
Well, I live right across the street, so it's not hard to walk there. There's like really zero responsibilities unless someone's stupid.
So I encourage people to go to my Facebook page and check out that event. The fundraiser.
What's a fundraiser like? What do? You just like give me money?
You raise money. These campaigns cost money.
Okay. So
you go and you engage the voters, and you talk to them, and you mingle, and you answer their questions, and if they have the issues, you listen to what their issues are and what they think maybe the solutions are. And that's what it's about. And it's about raising money, and it's about building support, and it's about building the network and building relationships. Again, that's what it's all about. And it's unfortunate that there's so much money in our politics today. But the truth is, and I've said it all along, we don't need to raise the most money of everybody, but we need to raise enough money to be competitive.
Well, especially like you're talking about, it's the brand awareness, getting the name, and also getting the message across. And that's probably one of the hardest things to do.
That's right.
In a county like this, just because it's so big and the diversity. That's one thing I love about moving here. That's what I was telling my fiance. It's like, you're going to love it here. The diversity here is wonderful in the sense of, like, if you really want that city life, you can go to the Woodlands. If you want the country life, go to, Montgomery or Willis, or even more north or east. Right. East Side County is growing. I like the East Side a lot. But that's the only thing I'm getting to. I feel like I'm driving in Houston because it takes me like an hour to get anywhere. But that's
and imagine it for me when I announced this campaign a year ago. Nobody knew me, not one person. I mean, I had a few friends, but no one knew me on a large scale. So I've had to do a lot of work being out in front of people and going to events and showing up, so people know who I am.
So, in your opinion, what has worked? Just showing up? What's worked for you so far?
Showing up, answering people's questions, being open to whatever they have to say, right? I'm not afraid to answer anybody's question. I don't duck anybody's questions.
Well, so what's a debate like for the county judge? I guess it's more of like, how do you ask questions? Because this is one thing I was telling Sean I don't like about debates here, especially for the Republican sense debates, because everyone's going to answer the same thing practically, I would say. Like, what's your stance on abortion? Or like those touching points. I'm like, why are we asking
these questions? Which those would never be asked.
People? Yeah, like, why are we asking?
County government has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's what. But people, I've been to ones that's.
Oh, there was a county judge race where that actually came into it.
Yeah, and I'm like, what does this have to do with
anything?
Yeah. And that's one thing I don't. I guess it's kind of hard for a county judge position to have those polarizing ideas, because like you said, you're only in charge of so much. So really the way I would approach it is give me the qualifications of what a county judge requires, and then just tell me what you've been doing for the rest of your life before this.
That's
and
right.
Then
That's why
match it up.
I give my qualifications. I
Yeah.
explain what the job is, and I tell people this is a partisan race about nonpartisan politics.
Yeah.
Because it's not a legislating job.
Can we change that? Can we vote on that with the Texas Senate? It's like,
Unfortunately, it's written that
But we
this
can
shall be a partisan race.
but we can't change that at all.
Well, it could be changed, but
Through
you'd
a
have to.
constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
But also, is this not the last general with straight ticket?
So this is the last general election that you can actually straight ticket vote.
So we're getting rid of straight ticket voting.
Yeah.
Correct.
Forever. Until it's
Well,
In
changed.
Texas.
until somebody changes it again.
Until it gets changed. Right.
Is that because of the voter fraud stuff? Or is that just because we want to change it up?
I think that
Because I was reading
my sense is just something to change up.
I was reading
Yeah.
something. I think it's either in Seattle or something. They do like a voting system where you pick your choices 1 to 10, and somehow it works itself out that way.
Well,
I could vote for Jay as number 1, and then the person who you're running with number 2, number 3, number 4, and somehow people can answer theirs differently, and somehow that comes out a winner. I don't really know why.
Well, every state, everyone's different. I can't remember where, but it was like it was a three-way run. Well, they got into a three-way, all in the same party, because in their primaries it wasn't GOP versus Democrat, or versus whatever. It was called an open primary.
So everyone against everybody.
Yeah, so you actually had for the general, you have like 2 Democrats or 2 Republicans running against each other.
Yeah.
In the general.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because that sounded really interesting to me, just because it's different, and it gives more people, I guess the people who are in the Green Party, a sense of maybe I could go somewhere else besides just being kicked out. Maybe.
So it is 10:46. I think we'll go for a break and we'll come back for our final segment. You are listening to Dick, Skippy, and Jay Stittleburg, candidate for Montgomery County Judge. We'll be back momentarily.
Lime in the coconut, she drink a bowl up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drink a bowl up. Put the lime in the coconut, she drink a bowl up. Put the lime in the coconut, she called the doctor.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Health Center Southeast Texas is a federally qualified health center. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most major private insurances. For our self-pay patients, we have a sliding scale discount program available. Our health centers have qualified providers and staff striving every day to provide the best quality of care to our patients. Services offered are family medicine, behavioral health services, telepsychiatry, and pediatrics. We have 4 area locations. Look at the Health Center Southeast Texas online at hcset.com.
She took a bowl, put the lime in the coconut.
10:50 on the dot. We got 5 minutes left in this show. You got Dick and Skippy, and you got Jay Stittleburg, candidate for Montgomery County Judge, having stimulating conversation on and off.
It's so
the
stimulating.
air. It is. It's stimulating. So, question. I had a question and one right.
That's
on my
called
ear.
engagement.
Engagement.
Oh, okay.
So
engagement.
This particular race is unique that neither candidate is the incumbent. The incumbent was the elected not to be reelected. Are there any benefits or pros or cons to having a race where it's not an incumbent? Is there?
Well, I think there's always a benefit when there's not an incumbent. I mean, an open seat is exactly that, and I think that it opens the door for anyone who's decides to get in that race, because the truth is you can put your issues on the table, you can put your stances on the table. The unfortunate part of it is, I guess I'll call it unfortunate, is that obviously you don't have a track record of in that position. Of things that you've done in that position, which is what typically gives an incumbent the advantage.
Right.
Here's what I have done as the county judge. And so people tend to go, well, things are going pretty good. We can just keep them going along. But when you have an open seat, then you literally have to,
actually talk
have your issues and have what you're going to do and a plan of execution. And when you debate, if you debate your opponent, then you have to be able to combat what they're going to say. So, I think there's a distinct advantage by being an open seat and not an incumbent that's running to get reelected.
Well, long story short, people, votes matter.
Well, they should register to vote.
Yeah, register to vote.
If you haven't.
Everyone bitches about the weather. No one does anything about it, kind of thing. Same thing with voting.
How do you register? Because I don't know how I did. I
Go to the post office. I think you can pick up voter registration form at DMV offices, post office, and even Kroger.
You can, and quite frankly, you can contact either of the party offices, the Democratic Montgomery County Democratic Party office or the Republican Party office, because they'll have VDVRs that are
What's that?
can register people to vote.
What's VDVRs?
Those are voter deputy registers. So those are people that have been that have been trained to be able to. You can fill out your voter registration, and then they give you a receipt, and they actually go file it. So. Because you can fill out the form, put it in the mailbox, and send it off. Or if you go to an event where they register voters, then
how do you become one of those?
You go to a training and you get
Wow.
certified. You can, and again, the Montgomery County Democratic Party has trainings for people that want to become deputy voter registrars, and they'll conduct a training. And,
You want to go there and add that to your resume? You do that, and I'll go to Notary Public School.
Well, that's why I feel like we could do the duo thing.
Yeah.
We could have some value to the station.
and and I think it's great when people do that, because I can't stress enough, as Skippy said, that we need to, you need to get registered and you need to be engaged and you need to go vote. And I've said this time and time again, I don't even care which way you vote. I want people to be engaged and vote, because we should be electing our officials with a majority of the population, not a minority of the population.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
That was a lot
Thanks
of
for having
fun.
me.
Folks, it's 10:53. Mornings Lone Star. We're going to be shutting it down. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by Conroe Coffee, Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, and Jay Stittleburg for County Judge. Tomorrow, we have a special guest coming in all the way from Houston. He's been in the studio before. We got Stephen David coming in. He's also running for something. I think we're going to have a lot of guests like this, so get used to it, folks. Stephen Day will be in.
Well, we want to become the Montgomery County stopping point for political debate and conversation.
What I'm waiting for is I get so good at these interviews that I upset the person because I ask the hard questions.
Beyond boxers and brief?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You're
I
listening
say
to Mornings with Lone
depends.
Star. Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
that?
For adults. right? No,
That's it. Very good.
Or depends. Okay, well,
Yeah, you got it. 10:54. We're out of here on Wednesday, August 15th. Dick and Skippy, we will see you tomorrow with candidate for 8th Congressional District, Stephen David.
In the coconut, you drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut and you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut, drink a bowl up. Put the lime in the coconut, you